Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Another player profile time, and a young man that we have wanted to talk to all year. Crazy busy. I mean, he lives the life of just constantly signing autographs and doing all the great things that all high school athletes dream of. This young man is a baseball player through and through, a young man who doesn't matter what time it is, when it is clutch time, when the spotlight shines the brightest, this young man is always seemingly somewhere in the vicinity of taking it to the next level. At this time, we bring in South Range standout and a young man I think we can all get behind. Ladies and gentlemen, Junior Tyson Tarajack. What's up, Ty?
Not much. Thank you for having me.
No, it's my pleasure, man. You have had a great year. You've had a great career so far with the South Range Raiders. This year, I mean, you guys just keep on winning. Another district championship for you and the boys in Burgundy. For you as a junior, but leading from the front, obviously, with all the accolades you received, first team NE8, things of that nature. What makes this year so special to you personally?
Personally, I think it's just I decided to actually take it up a notch just recently in my career. Before I was a little hesitant about like where I was at compared to other people, but now I finally decided to really put in the grind. So just doing that has made me honestly very confident in who I am as a player and person. So this year's meant a lot to me because I feel like I've actually shown that too, and all that work that I put in. And I have a lot of people behind me on my team that have, I think that I agree that I've put in that work and that have shown me that respect in that circumstance. So that's what means a lot to me this year.
It's been a while since anybody scored on you from the pitching standpoint, man. I think the last time somebody scored on you has been the Bush administration. And technically, that's probably before you were born. So you wouldn't even remember that. But for you, I mean, you mentioned maybe not comparing yourself to other players and trying to run your own race, so to speak. When did you really have it click for you and realize that, you know, I've got to do what I've got to do and I've got to compare myself to just what I can do instead of looking around necessarily the conference or the state and saying, I've got to be like this guy?
I think the biggest thing is that I'm always compared to either my uncle or my dad because they were really good at when they were around here and playing at the time. So the biggest thing is that I finally developed the mindset that yeah, I have the Tarajack last name that means a lot around here, but I want the Tyson Tarajack name to be what is like for me, like what means a lot to me. I want that to stand out rather than just the last name.
That's interesting. I mean, when you look at kind of where that Tarajack name comes from, everybody, looks at that. There's an expectation for you. There's an expectation for Tucker, your younger brother. For you, and you say, "Hey, I want people to recognize Tyson Tarajack." Was it challenging? When you first came onto the varsity scene and having to kind of play in the shadows and I know that's not a bad thing, but play in the shadow of your dad and your uncle and say, hey, I'm going to be my own guy and I'm going to kind of create my own legacy.
Yeah, I mean, I actually talked to my dad about it yesterday when we were at scene watching Tucker play, and I mentioned to him, I was like, the day I was born, you kind of put a target on my back just with your
Mhm.
last name and everything that my Uncle Bill did. And I was like, you know, I mean, it's great to have that last name and everything, but I was just explaining to him, I was like, I know we've talked about how I was going to go play baseball at West Virginia or something or try like how he did. But then I just finally kind of made that instinct and move. And I was like, I kind of just want to do what's for me. I want to have my own story, honestly, like kind of like that. I still love my dad and everything to death, but I think that to me, I really want to go put myself out there myself rather than try to like use the last name that he's brought up.
Oh, and I think there's a lot of people in this area that because I mean, it is a tradition rich area. There's a lot of last names, and I don't think you're alone, my friend. But it's good that you're able to kind of write your own story, and I think every father would want that for their son naturally, and they just want what's best. And I think you have really started to grab that pen and write your story. So for you, what does that story look like? I mean, what is it? What do you want to do with this talent that you've been given and that you have pushed it to the limit? What do you want to do for yourself? What do you want this legacy to end up like when it's all said and done?
I mean, obviously the big goal is going to the MLB. Something that my dad was going to be able to do, but sadly wasn't able to. So I want to be able to finish that part for him, be able to get to the MLB and actually be able to play there, just because he wasn't able to. Um, but I think at first all starts off just getting through the rest of this high school career and then going straight to college. Uh, I'd love to go Division 1, but if it's not what calls out my name, I'm fine with going wherever I need to. It's just I got to put in the work and show off my name. I'm not really worried about Division too much, but I'd love to play Division 1. I've got a couple of schools I'm talking to, but when it's all said and done, I just want to go as far as possible in baseball.
So it doesn't matter where you go; it's that you're going. You're going
Yes,
to go and
want to
play
be able to
baseball at
play.
the next. So for you, the work ethic has been a huge thing for you. Being able to put in the work in the season, in the off season, things of that nature.
Mhm.
When did you realize that you had to push yourself? And listen, you got a ton of talent, and everybody knows it. But talent only takes you so far. It's the work ethic that's going to take you to that next level. When was it that clicked for you?
Um, Honestly, kind of realized it when I always like last year and my freshman year, I never really gained velocity or anything. I kind of always saw it around like 82, 84. And going to like travel and stuff and seeing other kids that actually started putting in more work than me, they were hitting bigger numbers. So I was like, oh crap. So maybe I do need to put a little bit more work in. So over the last summer or so, and then going into this year, I started putting in a lot of work. And then after I finally realized that putting that work in means a lot, I started hitting those higher numbers, getting up to 88, 89.
So the magic number is always 90, right? That's what they talk about, the next level. When you hit 90, then you start magically receiving different offers. But for you, and you're very confident in your skill set. What do you think is your best trait that you bring to the table at the next level? And even right now for Coach Hannick and the South Range Raiders?
I think the best thing I have is just composure. No matter what happens on the mound, I don't let anything get to me. I always just seem to be in the moment. I don't really like let anything get to me. Runners get on base. It's like just whatever for me. Like I'm still out there pitching. It's part of the game. So biggest thing for me is I think I just stay composed the whole time. You don't really see anything affect me like ever really too much. I wouldn't say. I just play the game like it's supposed to be played. Things are gonna happen, so I just let it go.
Your younger brother is a freshman this year. Being able to play with him, talk to me about what that's like as big brother to be able to share a uniform, with the young guy and try to give him kind of the way of the world as it pertains to varsity and junior varsity athletics.
Uh, I love my brother to death. It's been something very special. You never really think that you get to share the same uniform or just play under the same school as your sibling because most people don't get that opportunity. Um, so it was great. I really enjoyed having him at practice, just being able to mess around with him. But at the same time, we both knew to put in the work. So he's got the same work ethic as me. I would say he works just about even harder too. That kid, he's a workhorse. He'll put all the work in. I love everything that he has for the game. He just loves it so much. I think I really am a good role model for him. Because I know he looks up to me a lot. He's always at my game supporting me. He talks about me a lot too. So I really appreciate him as a brother, and I think he'll go very far places.
Well, certainly a great role model, but being that you have that last name on the back of your jersey and that giant SR flag on the front of your uniform or South Range across your chest, there's always a target, right? They're always coming after you. How have you learned to deal with that as a team that has won four straight district championships, as a team that's always in the conversation, and you are one of the mainstays of that Raider organization, that Raider club? What are you teaching Tucker to kind of handle the, I don't know, the pressures of being a Tarajack and a South Range Raider at the same time?
I would say the biggest thing is just kind of the grit. I mean, you gotta want it. That's the biggest thing. So just being a guy with a target on your back or anything like that, you gotta want to be able to show it off. Honestly, kind of like just play through it. You gotta be able to want it. You gotta be able to go on that field and say, I'm that guy. Like you can't really worry about those things too much. It's I don't think it's too big of a thing to worry about. I think it's more you just got to go out there, play how you know how to play. Just be that guy that you know how to be.
Now we know South Range is a huge family. I mean, the community is one that's constantly behind the athletics, constantly behind the students, and seemingly every single organization within those four walls at South Range. But obviously, you have learned to deal with tragedy. Being that last week there was a huge tragedy, and the highs and the lows that come along with it. That being an athlete, being someone who's has dealt with adversity in your life. Dominic Tomano, we talk about this young man who lost his life last week. For you, I know you guys were close to the family when you moved into the district. What kind of things are you battling right now, and should other people understand that you're going to honor this young man's legacy, this young man's name?
I think the biggest thing is now that all this has happened, we all feel for the family. We feel for the district. So we want to do everything we can for the family. We all made sure that we be there for them. So the rest of the season's being played for Dom. We're getting stickers to put on our helmets to honor him for the rest of the year. So we're just hoping we can get to the Tomano family, making sure that they're okay and that they get everything that they need because we understand what they're going through and how hard this is going to be.
To deal with, I mean, you're what, 17, 18 years old, so to deal with this kind of adversity, this tragedy at your age, what things do you hope that it helps build in you, and make you a better person, a better man?
I think the biggest thing is that I just don't take things for granted anymore. The biggest thing is I think if opportunity is handed out to me, I just got to take it because you only get one chance. Um, so just something like that and experiencing something like that happened during my life. And a kid that young who was loved so much, I think that the biggest thing that you learn from it is just don't let anything go by. Don't take anything for granted. Tell your family that you love them because you never know when it's going to be your last day.
When you think about baseball, and how it kind of mirrors life in the adversity, and you fail a lot more than you succeed, what kind of things do you feel that baseball has brought to your life and educated you on, and how to carry yourself, even though the deck's stacked against you some days when you wake up? You got to keep taking swings, right?
Hmm. Uh, I would say baseball's really taught me to that family can be teammates for sure. There, you got a bunch of guys behind your back at all times. Um, Another thing is that you just got. I think I would say not necessarily being kind, but being able to pick people up at certain times. I think baseball's taught me that you really ever see someone because obviously in baseball things are going to happen. Somebody's going to be not so happy or something's going to go wrong. I think baseball has really taught me that you really see anybody needs something or needs help, you just go and help them no matter what. Maybe you might not be the best person for it, but at least trying to just go help them out or something like that just plays a big part in who you could be.
And you've obviously been a huge factor in all things, all scenarios. With this senior class being, there's four seniors this year for South Range. How have these young men impacted your life on a regular basis? And how have you wanted to be a better teammate for them?
Oh yeah, for sure. These four seniors are I'm super close to. I love these guys to death. I don't want the season to end because I'll miss them to death. They've taught me a lot ever since being a freshman, especially Logan Baxter. He kind of was like my wingman guy when I came up to varsity the first year. He was there for me. He kind of brought me through the system. Then years after that, I kind of got closer to Ty Wardle, Luke Gehring, and Connor. Me and Connor being pitchers, just talking a lot about game plans, stuff like that, hanging out outside of school. Obviously, Ty I've known forever. Him and my dad played at Poland together, so I love Ty to death. Ty's a brother to me in Christ. Everything like that. We share moments like that. Uh, Beyond anything, he's just a great player, a great teammate. Um, he's just a great human. And Luke's a great human too. I love Luke to death. Uh, Luke being injured last year played a huge role in the team just being there for the pitchers. He was always there for me. Let me know if there was anything he saw me doing wrong. He helped with pitch calling. Anytime I needed anything, he was someone I could go to just in pitching.
You mentioned your faith. Talk to me about why your faith is so important to you, especially. I'm sure you've had it your entire life, but right now more than ever, with everything that you've gone through in the last week, the last 6 months, why your faith is so important to you through these times.
I agree. I think my faith is super important to me just to get through things. Go, finally giving my life to God and stuff, and just finally putting all my problems towards God has really cleared my mind. It hasn't really left me with depression or anything to worry about. Uh, it's something that you can always rely on, I would say. So anytime that I'm needing anything, I could talk to God, and I feel like I'm just fixed like that. I mean, I think it's a great thing. Ty Wardle started FTA at South Range, which really got to me too. And then we got a huge group of around 50 people to start going with us. So I think that plays a big role too. That when God hears you, when God hears you mourning, He'll just start a fire, and something great like that will happen where everybody starts getting together, and then you just got something great going.
I love that, dude. All right, last question for you. You have had a ton of role models in your life. You've battled through adversity, through probably more than anybody your age at this point in time. Who have who's been there for you? Who has helped you? Who's been your role models, your heroes that have helped you get to this point as a junior? Technically, you're a senior now.
Yeah.
Technically, you're a senior now. Um, and when you think about the people that have helped you get to where you are right now to give you these opportunities, who are those people and why are they so important in your life?
Uh, First, my dad. But he will always be my role model, no matter what. He's done everything possible just with his disability and everything that he's gone through in his life, getting his career taken away from him. Uh, he's someone I'll always look up to. No matter what, he'll always be there for me. He's done everything possible to get me where I am right now. Uh, he goes through those moments where he's struggling, but he takes me and Tucker first. He puts us before anything. So my dad by far, he's the one person's footsteps that I want to follow my whole life. Um, he's definitely done a lot for me. Someone that I definitely will always look up to, and someone that I hope other people would look up to one day.
Certainly. Anybody else that you want to give a shout out real quick when you
Um,
got your moment?
I would also say my grandma, because she's always been like my mom figure to me my whole life. She's very supportive. She's always been there for me and Tucker, just helping out with anything that we needed with my dad in case because he can't get two places at once. So the biggest thing is that my grandma's always been there for us. So yeah, that's who I would say.
Tyson Tarajack, such an honor to sit with you, man. Thanks for your time. Thanks for everything that you do for the game, for the school, and for this area in sports. It does not go unnoticed. Congratulations on all your success. We hope to see you in the state championship game this year, and you just keep pushing the envelope on the success here in this area, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.